All right, so we have hit the halfway point of season 3. Yeah. You know who also hit the halfway point? Dale.
Oh, that's bad. That's a bad joke. Too soon.
Too soon?
Yeah, too soon.
He actually probably is not even the halfway point. Maybe only about 5% of him made it out. There was some of him in the pool and some of him in the pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, The Light of Day is the name of the episode. And Randall and Chrissy, they're live. They're not wonderfully like healthy at the moment or anything, but a lot of people were like, "Oh no, something big's gonna happen. Chrissy's gonna die."
Yeah.
And then we had talked about how Randall was maybe gonna be tortured out on there,
yeah, we
and
weren't
like
sure.
draw them out or something. And it's just like, no, just cut to the next day, and they're both fine. Like he's not fine.
No, yeah,
but he's gonna
not
be
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's going through the pain and whatnot, but they seemingly are going to make recoveries, and there's not going to be anything that comes from their wounds other than like, him being mad at Boyd, of course.
Wasn't it Boyd that got like scratched by one of them and had some funky stuff happening?
Well, he's the one that had like his blood became like a weapon against them.
Right. Okay, yeah. I was like, that was Boyd. So I wonder if something is going to happen with Randall, since like he's obviously been maybe infected or whatever it is.
I mean, maybe. But
Randall
is going to definitely be the main human antagonist for this season. He's going to do something big. Yeah. He might kill Ellis. He might, he might do something to get back at Boyd. He could even try to kill him, right?
Like, sure, yeah.
Would he actually kill him? Could I see Boyd being killed off at the end of the season? Highly doubtful. But that would be shocking, I don't know. He obviously is going to hold a serious grudge. He's already a person who is short-tempered. He already has distanced himself from everyone. He already has problems with Boyd and everyone else. So it wasn't going to take much to push him over the edge. Sarah, who's a total sweetheart, she is seemingly a very stable person. She was able to be deceived and pushed over the edge by these things. Randall, he didn't even need the monsters to be pushed over the edge, right? This guy's already beyond the edge. So it's not going to take much, and he's going to go way harder than Sarah. And I think Sarah's probably going to be the key to recognizing the signs that he is like the next Sarah times 10.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really bad with him, for sure. Because, I mean, you already said it.
Like burn down Colony House or something.
Who knows? It's tough, though, because, Boyd doesn't, like... I feel really bad for Boyd in this episode. I feel like this whole season so far, I've just been feeling, like, bad for how much responsibility and pressure he has. But what I was going to say is that, like, we've already kind of talked about how Boyd, like, he had to make a choice, but it wasn't like he wanted to leave Randall.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do it maliciously or anything. It was just one of those scenarios where he tried to pick the right thing because it was like a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, Randall's definitely not going to let it go, I don't think. And he's definitely potentially either going to be, as you said, like Sarah times 1,000 and be influenced to do something really horrible, either by the monsters or just from his own like anger and like revenge.
I mean,
or he's going to be a weapon, perhaps.
So yeah, if he can be controlled by these things, right? Like he could essentially morph into one of them. This could be how people are turned. We don't know how they're turned. Or if they are, if these things are just straight up not human at all. They seem to be not human, but also there's indicators that they were once human. I honestly don't know what to make of the monsters, whether or not they were ever once human, or if they just straight up are monsters that appear to look like humans when they want to. nor here nor there on that. But to some degree, whether he turns into one or not, they could absolutely use him as a weapon, because he can come in. Like, what happens when nightfall happens and they're sitting out there, and the places that they are in, that they are protected by these talismans, he's not.
Yeah.
Right? So if he lights Colony House on fire, what do you do when there's monsters that are sitting outside the house that'll eat you when you go outside?
Yeah.
Or you stay in the house and you burn to death.
Right.
Right? He just makes a Molotov cocktail, a few of them, and starts throwing them at the house. Oh, boy. Right? And Boyd can't. Boyd can just sit down in town and watch. Right? So I could see Randall being a huge threat. He's a bigger threat than the monsters, because they have limitations because of some kind of supernatural talismans that Randall doesn't have to, listen to or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like he's going to have a huge thing in this that's going to be devastating at the end of this season.
Yeah. Definitely see that. Yeah.
All right. And as far as the Christie stuff goes, I didn't really get anything out of this. I mean, her and Mary, they have a little exchange. They almost kiss, which I guess means they're reconciling and getting back together. I don't know. I thought maybe Kenny had a chance, but looks like maybe not.
No, I think things are just kind of complicated between her and Kenny still, because there's stuff
it's
there.
It's going to be
it's a
triangle for the rest of the show.
I think so.
Until one of them dies. It'll probably be Christy.
Oof.
And then that'll like set them at odds with one another, right? That'll create the most drama, because either one of them dying would be bad for her, but like she's dying, it's bad for both of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we always get comments from someone. I apologize for not remembering who exactly it is, but they're always like, one town hall meeting could fix all of this. Why don't they ever communicate
Here's
with
the
each other?
town hall meeting.
You get your town hall meeting.
This was so
and it goes
frustrating.
Terribly wrong.
Oh my gosh, so horribly wrong. I completely understand like why people are reacting the way they are, but I'm also like so annoyed with everybody's reactions. Like, everyone just kind of comes at Tabitha and is like, you didn't go get help? You didn't go do this? But like, she was trying to help the whole time, but they don't seem to understand. Like, she sort of tried to explain it to her daughter by being like, I wasn't sure if I was still dreaming, because you would be like so like disoriented, and then even when she does try to explain it to people, like, they don't believe her. The only person, and I like that Victor's dad like kind of steps in and is like because they're like, well, you believed her, and he's like, but my situation is different. Like, she's literally talking to somebody whose like son is in the town. Yeah. If you talk to anybody else, they're like, what are you like, that doesn't make any sense. Which the police officer does try to like vouch and be like, yeah, we thought she was hysterical, like she tried to warn us.
Shut up, killer.
And then everybody just like came at her too. So the whole time it was very frustrating. I didn't like Fatima's reaction in this at all. Like, I get that they all want to leave, but it's like they act like nobody else but them want to leave, and that's just not the case. Like, yes, anyway, yeah, it was annoying. It was really annoying.
Well, the thing that annoys me is that Boyd and Donna seem to think that they have some authority over people's decision making and, ultimately the information and what people do with it. And it's just like, no, this is what we're going to do, and you're not doing that. And it's like, take us all to the tree. And it's like, no. Like, what do you mean no? They have every right, as do all of you, to go and look at this tree and go through it if they want. I mean, obviously it does not go well for Dale.
It doesn't.
But I'm very glad that he did that, because now they know. And he sacrificed himself. He's a bit of a martyr here. He's a dick about it and all. But they needed someone to try to go through. I mean, for me, Dale is in a position where he has every right to do whatever the fuck he wants. He has full autonomy over himself. And also, somebody's got to try, and he'd rather die than be there.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think that Boyd and Donna, like, they're not trying to control people. I think they're trying to protect people. And I guess, like, I mean, the solution would have been to try and explain better, like, we don't know that that's going to happen again. Like, we don't know that what happened with Tabitha is a repeatable experience.
See, this is the problem, though. This is straight from, like, every dictator and every oligarch.
I'm not saying that they're like, I know what's best.
I know what's
they're
best.
They're just trying to help people and to
protect
keep
you.
people safe.
I know what's better
and
for you.
And to be fair, like, they're right. They, like, the reason that it works in this situation, rather than, like, maybe some other situation, is that there's so many things that are, like, unknown and dangerous.
But it's up to them to make that decision.
No, I think that, yes,
I think that
they should be allowed to, but I think that they're, like, I understand where they're coming from, and I think that, like, I'm on their side with this, because I think that it's, like, very, like, everybody's reaction is, like, so emotional, and they just want to run through the tree. Like, that's what they want to do, right then and there.
And I understand
that's a bad decision to make.
But it's also a bad decision to just tell people outright no, without being like, okay, I will take you to the tree, no problem. But I want to have a game plan, and I want to sit down, and I want to lay out all the information that everyone has. Everyone who's been through the tree, what our experiences were, and then we want to get everyone's full, like, feelings on what they think is best. We need to come together as a group on, like, what's the plan? What are we going to do once we go through? If you can get back out, what are we going to do? You know, who wants to volunteer to go through? Knowing the risks and the dangers, you can have a conversation, but everyone just talking over each other, everyone just telling everyone what they should and shouldn't do is not the way to handle this at all.
Yeah, I think that that's what Boyd would be doing, though, is that I think he would obviously want to have a plan, but I think in that moment, everybody's reaction is like, somebody can go home, we want to go home, or somebody went home, we want to go home, like, right now. So I think that people are just being, and I'm not saying that he handles it perfectly. I think everyone's being really illogical, and it's like one of those situations where, like, as a viewer, like, we can see all of the flaws in everybody's, like, reactions and, like, the way that they talk to each other, but it still makes it very frustrating. And yeah, I mean, Tabitha, you know, like, and oh my god, what's his name? Jade go to the tree.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to figure out what all those numbers in the bottles might mean.
Yeah.
And Dale follows them and is like, I'm going to go through. You guys can thank me later. Because that was more also what I was really annoyed with, was that everybody was, like, coming at Tabitha like they would have done something differently if they had gotten out. And I think that's so unfair to be like, I would have gotten help. Like,
of course it's unfair, but people are scared. And of course everyone always thinks they know better. I mean, in this situation, I definitely buy every bit of that.
I do too. I don't think any of it's unbelievable. It was just really frustrating because, like, Tabitha wasn't, like, wasting time. Like, she was, you know, anyway. But yeah, Dale's like, I'm gonna go get help and you'll thank me later. And then very memorable scene of him, like, phasing into the wall of the pool.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible, horrible way to die, and everyone's just like...
He's a permanent fixture of that pool now.
Yeah, now everyone's gonna see it. I mean, somebody's maybe gonna cover him up with, like, a tarp or something.
Maybe.
Or maybe he's just
a good reminder.
Yeah.
As he rots inside the wall there. Yeah, I think that as far as, like, the papers go and the numbers on them, I think that once Jade and Tabitha open up all the bottles and they get all the paper out, lay it together, I think they're going to see that they connect and that the pages, like, go together, and maybe it's not one big paper, but, like, a bunch of small, like, you know, pages. There's going to be, like, 10 pages, and they have to, like, splice them all together and then try to put them in an order, and it's going to spell out some kind of a message or some kind of, like, a code or some kind of a something, like whether or not it's, like, the letters of the alphabet or some kind of cryptograph or whatever. But I think that the pieces of paper are all going to go together to make a bigger, you know, image of something when they're going to have to figure out what those numbers are. Every paper has 4 numbers on it. He says it's a date. It isn't. Not any date that I'm familiar with, because what she says...
I think he means, like, the year.
Yeah, but she says one's like 27 something. So it's it doesn't work for like a month. It doesn't work for a year. It doesn't work for anything.
It could be a year. A 4 number.
But she said it's like...
She said it was like 2697.
Yeah, so 2,697. So in the future?
I don't know. I mean, I think it could... I don't think it is a year, but it could be. That would be crazy.
What if you like... What if you take the number in your hand, the bottle with the number inside of it, and you walk through the tree, and that's the year you go to?
That'd be interesting. That'd be pretty interesting. Yeah, I definitely was wondering about, like, if there's some connection between, like a coordinate, but that's not...
It's not a big enough number for a coordinate.
But yeah, definitely wondering, like, if that has some impact on, like, where you end up.
She didn't take anything with her.
She didn't take anything with her.
Nor did Boyd.
But that, I mean, like, maybe those are all potential things, like potential places that you could... But they're not coordinates. But that's more what I was thinking, like, in terms of if they were coordinates.
I mean, if someone... Every time somebody put a number down, like, they have to hang the bottle to put some some number that they have. I don't know what they would be writing, why they would be writing a number, not how many times they've went through. There's not enough bottles. Like, there's 4 numbers every time. And it could be, like,
how many people are in there.
Right.
That's, like, an insane, like, 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it would never be less than 1,000.
Right.
Right, with 4 numbers. And it could never be more than...
You could have a 0.
Oh, I guess you could do 0001. So I guess maybe. Anyway.
I don't know. It's good mystery. We'll see. And then the other, I feel like, well, there's 2 more maybe like big things that kind of happened this episode, but obviously Victor and his father being a major one.
I mean, it's just an emotional moment.
It's just emotional.
I don't think
I just feel like it's a big it's a big moment for Victor and the show. So that's very interesting.
Not really much to talk about, but it's nice to see him reconnect.
Yeah. And then the other thing is the camera that is found, because I feel like that's going to have some impact. I think we both were thinking that somebody's going to get their picture taken and they're either going to look differently, like Fatima's going to look like that drowned woman,
right. Yeah.
Or, maybe something is just going to appear in one of the photos behind people, or there's going to be some discovery with that.
I mean, we saw Elgin's picture. We did not see... Julie's. Right. So, maybe Elgin was holding that from her. I think there might be some kind of like a romance thing trying to be brewed there. But whatever on that. I think that, it's either going to be, they're going to take a picture of, I agree with you. I think he is going to take a picture of Fatima, and I think she's going to look like the drowned woman. So I like that, but also it could just be something in the background or something that they notice with the picture. But no, I think it's going to be a picture taken.
Yeah.
And they're going to, it's going to have a big impact. I agree. The Polaroid camera is not there for no reason, obviously.
Definitely not, yeah.
And it's going to have some huge mystery to it.
Yeah. And
it's going to piss everyone off because everyone just wants all the answers. What is the sweet spot for a mystery show for people? I'm honest on, I honestly am questioning.
I think
this
the sweet spot is just that if there's more mysteries, that you get answers as you keep going. But people still get upset about that when the answers lead to more questions.
Correct. So I don't know if a mystery show can really satisfy the type of people who constantly complain about this show and every other one, because it's like, whether it's Lost or this show or any mystery show. So name a mystery show that went on for many seasons that was dealing with one mystery, the ultimate overall mystery, and we were leading down that path of mysteries, and there was questions being asked and then answered, and then that posed more questions, like all mysteries would, because if you answer the big question, you can't, right? That's the end of the show when you answer the big mystery. What show that does that for 4 or 5 seasons and you're happy with? I don't know. These kinds of shows are all about building the mystery and giving you little breadcrumbs of answers, but then posing more. Yeah. That's a mystery. For a show to be able to go on with the same narrative, with the same end goal of the plot. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
You want the town's mysteries to all be revealed in this episode? And then what? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I see so many comments. It's probably half the comments we get is I'm fucking done with this show. They never answer any questions. They do answer questions. But every question that they answer leads to more questions. Yeah. That's a fucking mystery show. That's how literally everyone I've ever watched ever has been.
The hope is that in the end you either get everything answered or almost everything answered, so that there's new context for the show if you were to rewatch it or just to think back on it.
I can understand feeling like the show is aimless and that it's never going to answer questions. Like that they have no direction, then they have no answer, and I'm not staying along for the ride because I know the answer is not going to be satisfying. If you were saying that, I would be totally understanding, but it's like, this show never gives me the answers. I want the fucking answers. And it's like, that's the fun of the show. It's like it's purposely not giving you the answers because it can't, because that's literally the only reason you tune in. Yeah. Once the answers are revealed, that's the fun. That's the show. That's the end. Yeah. What do you do from there? You just want to see them walk around the town after the answers have all been given? Yeah. And then they're just like, okay, we have the answers now. Now let's just get out of here.
No, I like the mystery and the journey. I think it's fun. I like trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, it's just I've seen so many comments about this show and others, but especially this one. And it was the same with Lost. Yeah. It was just endless crying and whining and bitching. Stop fucking watching it. And it's like, I've invested so much time. Well, you keep investing more time, and you're pissed every fucking episode. I don't know, man. It's fucking annoying. Anyway, so I think that's everything for the most part that's, like, worth talking about. But yeah, I mean, if we get to the end of the show and the answers are not sufficient, and we've built to a mystery that's nothing, then of course we'll be pissed.
Yeah, of course.
You're like, what the fuck? Why'd you make us sit through 5-10 seasons of a show and then you don't even try? Like, that's annoying. But, like, while you're going down the road of mysteries, as long as the mysteries remain interesting and pose all these really exciting questions of, like, oh, I want to know where that goes, then I don't understand what you're upset about. Anyway, what were you going to say?
No, I was just saying, we'll be upset if we don't get any answers at all in the end.
Fatima also reveals to Ellis that she's been eating
she does.
the rancid crops. So I could maybe see. I don't know if Ellis would be able to be talked into, like, getting her blood. But to save his baby, I wouldn't be shocked, right?
Yeah.
So if he, like, goes, I could see, Fatima going and, like, trying to siphon out blood from Dale.
Ew.
As he's stuck in the wall. Ugh. She's got, like, a blood bag.
Straw.
Yeah. Just killer clowns from outer space. I could see her going over there and taking some juice out of him.
Gross. It's a very public place to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know.
So yeah, I think I'll tell you this. I think that if Fatima goes outside right now, I don't think the creatures would touch her.
I do too. I feel like she would be like, immune. I think she's protected. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's something in her that they want birthed. Mm-hmm. Right? Or she's got something in them they don't want birthed.
No, I think it's something they want.
I agree too. I agree. But I'm just saying.
I think she's eating rotten food and dead bodies for something good.
Right. I agree. But anyway, that's that. Sorry for the rant. And we will... I'm not sorry. Fuck you guys. You guys know who I mean. All right. We'll see you in the comments. Adios.
Bye.